Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's good? Hope you guys are doing fine. Trust me, the rain today was epic. I don't know. I think I want to ask you guys here. Is this, I used to hear about this story when growing up as a child that we have a point where we have 7 days rain. Is it this? Are we at that point now? Because trust me, today's rain was one. Um, I don't say, I don't use a foul word here, but it was a very confused rain. It wasn't really like that hard, but you could not just go out. You just kept you inside and all of that. Regardless, yeah. I'm sure you guys had a very cold day, but hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are like tea to drink and hoodies to keep yourself warm and all of that. For you guys who are going home, hope you have somebody to keep you warm at home. Just saying, anyways. It's your boy Daki, spells Dark, and obviously you know it's IEE. I'm so happy to be in your faces. I love you guys so much. You guys are the reason why we are back here to give you guys Ghost to Life news or bring you guys updates concerning music and it's across the country. Today we'll begin our news with Wande Cole Black Diamond, amazing guy doing good for himself. We saw where he dropped the project. This was one project that a lot of persons were waiting for, and finally, Wande Cole came through with that project. I saw where he dropped track list about 13 songs, inclusive of Nobody Only, Come My Way, 3 Square Meal, Deals, Ichoke, Let Them Know, Street with T-Pain, Paper So with Legend Olamide, Ebelebe with WIZKID, Genesis, Jabba with Fireboy, Shomagba, and obviously Don't Feel Love. Amazing one from Wande Cole on that one. I made a decent project here, but then fans were still worried about the fact that we saw you and Davido in the studio, but then one of you guys decided not to release the song. And trust me, fans are really pained about that particular track because that was that was the cake on the icing. That was that song that everybody needed at the time. But trust me, we don't know. I think one of the has not spoken about that yet, but we don't know whose fault was it that the song was not released. But trust me, that was a very, very classic jam from both parties. Moving on, we saw well, Lamde announced his tour, what they call Legend or No Legend tour, and it was going to go around Nigeria, bringing it to a city close to you, like of Umuahia, Abia, Delta State, Lagos, Abuja, Benin. He was taking the tour around to clubs all over Nigeria to make sure that everybody got a feel of what the album looks like. We saw where he actually hung out with the Beat FM, and yeah, they spoke like a lot. We saw where he started off with the 60-second game, where he was asked questions, 60 seconds basically. And yeah, he was asked what was the first thing you look when you see a woman. He went further to artists he would have featured, who he has not met but would love to feature. We saw he mentioned like Beyonce, Post Malone, mentioned some amazing names basically. People he looks forward to in the industry. He mentioned Two Face. He said Two Face is that person that he, Wandeko, looks forward to seeing in the industry. And then he was also asked if it was to describe his sex drive with a car, and then people expected to hear like maybe a Bugatti or a Ferrari. Wandeko said, "You know that old Volkswagen car that you must do the vroom vroom for you on." Said that's what we describe his sex drive to be. But anyway, it was fun to see on the call all laughing and having good moments with these guys in the studio. And moving on, we saw where he came out to expose WIZKID, saying at the time was going to record the song Ebelebe with WIZKID. He said he had to fly all the way to meet WIZKID in Ghana. And he said, if you know what you want and you know you know that this is what I want, according to him, he said you have to go for it. He said he went for it and went to fly all the way to meet WIZKID in Ghana to record that song Ebelebe. But then David and you were in the studio and you didn't release that one. So what really happened? I think someone should ask what they call what really happened, and when he does that, we'll give you guys updates on why he did not release that one. But then he said for WIZKID, he had to fly all the way to meet WIZKID in Ghana to record the song Ebelebe. Moving on, we have Joeboy as the next guy on the news. We saw where he came out to say he dropped the Project Body and Soul album, and then he came out to say, for my sophomore album, I created a podcast featuring the great minds involved in the project because why not? So he's saying for the Body and Soul album, he has a podcast for it. So basically, people that were on the project, that work on the project, that were featured on the project, that did a thing or the other on the project, is going to be featuring them on the podcast, and they're going to be having nice conversations with each other on that podcast. And moving on, we saw where he announced and the UK tour for the Body and Soul tour. Trust me, it's an amazing one, and tickets are fast selling in case you want to get your own. I saw where he came out to say The rough estimate he has spent for his girlfriend in the last 2 years about 50 million. For Joe Boy, yeah, he's so particular about his girlfriend and the amount he has spent. So particular. Like he's like an accountant. He doesn't miss figures. It's like, okay, for this, I spent this 2010, 2011, I bought this. Add together, that's 2 million. Okay, counting. But then he said for 2 years, in the last 2 years, he has spent 50 million naira for his girlfriend. We saw where he came out to understand with Nigerians, where he said, I know the fuel subsidy P is hard on everyone right now. So here's my little way of helping. For the next 3 days, there will be free body and soul buses along the following routes between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Enjoy the ride. Love you guys. Now, the route includes Iyanowo Road to Lekki and Jakonde, Unila Gate to Yaba and Ikeja, Obalende to Oshodi. He's saying all of this route is going to be having buses there to make sure people get free rides to their destination between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, he showed us the buses and then he said buses on the go, and there will be adequate security to ensure the safety of all passengers boarding. Stay safe. So he's not just giving you guys a bus, but then he's ensuring that there will be security for each passenger that's going to be boarding that particular bus. Amazing one to Joeboy for coming through at this point. And moving on, we saw a podcast where Joeboy was on. He was with Odumodi on that one for the Body and Soul podcast, basically. And then he said, at the time, he was just growing up in the industry. He needed a sign, he needed like one big sign to know that it was going to be big, basically. And then he said at the time, him and Mr. Easy were always going together, working together. He was always beside Mr. Easy, low key, keeping quiet. And one of those days, Mr. Easy was with WIZKID, and WIZKID said, "You come." And then he went, and WIZKID spoke to him. And then Joeboy said at that point, he knew that was going to be great. At that point, that was the sign he needed. And he was so sure after that point that I was going to be a great guy. And basically, that's on period. They went further saying, he loved the fact that WizKid motivates young guys to know that you can be a rich man even as a young person. You don't have to be old to get money. He said they love that because WizKid motivates all young artists out there to know that you can be young and also make money. Just to mention, Joeboy already has his house number 3 at the moment. Good on to Joeboy. Obviously, raising the banner to show that you can be young and have money at his age to have about 3 houses just shows the fact that he is really really accomplished for his age. And moving on, we saw Rolling Stone, after announcing that Timeless is one of the best albums for the year, they've also come out to announce that for the year 2023 so far, we have selected some songs that are one of the best songs for the year 2023. And they'll mention like of SZA, Doja, Tyler, Taylor, Shakira, and more, but also inclusive of Asake, Resta, Rema, and Teni Makanaki as some of the best songs for the year. The songs include Rema Calm Down with Selena Gomez. Obviously, you expected that to be there. Asake with 230, Arya Star with Stability, and Teni with No Days Off. Now, this is contradictory, yeah? So you mentioned that Davido's album was one of the best album of the year. And then for the best song category, Davido's song was not in that category. So how does it make sense? Rolling Stone, you have like a lot of questions to answer on this one. Anyways, moving on, we saw Dremo coming out to announce that for me, my EP is done and then the album mode is ready. So anywhere from now, Dremo is set to drop his EP and obviously move on to drop an album. Trust me, we can't wait to consume what this guy has to offer us. Amazing guy and very, very talented artist who fans really love him and expecting to see what next from Dremo. And obviously, when it drop, we'll give you guys updates concerning Dremo and his new EP. Anyways, guys, we saw for Victoni here. This like I kept it for like special news, and this is like a plea. So if you are on this live session, please comment Victoni. Let's beg Victoni. Victoni, please drop this song. We've seen him with Chance, we've seen him with a lot of artists basically making sure that they promote this sound very, very well. Amazing tune, the guitar came in properly. A lot of, even there's a dance beat to it, like there's a dance routine to it where people just come shake their body and all of that. But then Victoria has failed to give us a date. All he does now is just post videos, post snippets, either with Shanks or is with Nas Boy or is with one other person or the other, just making sure that we keep salivating to want to know what he has for us. But basically, we are saying, Victoria, please give us this song already. We're tired of waiting. We can't wait to see what you have for us. And please, Don't do an Asake on us. Please don't do it. Just give us the album when we need it. And obviously, your fans are waiting for that one. Anyways, guys, we've come to the end of this one. We'll catch you guys on the very next one. Stay safe, guys, and be careful.